can I have apologies for absence, please?
Thank you, Chair. We have no apologies.
Thank you. Do we have any disclosures of personal or prejudicial interest, please?
No.
No? No? None. Okay, we will have all had the papers through, and the legal representative will take us through the papers because there's a definite format that we work to on this committee, okay?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Craig Davis. I'm the legal advisor.
Should we do introduction?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Penny Matthews, local councillor. Can I take your name, please, sir? The applicant.
Hi, my name is Sundar Lal. I'm the managing director of 3S Rachel Limited. And
Okay.
I'm Gerald. I'm the supervisor. I'm the designated supervisor. And to begin with, we are sorry we couldn't attend this in person. We just arrived from another official, commitment. So perhaps that's why we are doing it virtually.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for introducing yourselves. On my right, we have our lady.
Good morning. My name is Samantha Jenkins. I'm Democratic Services Officer.
Hi, Samantha.
Morning, I'm Lindsay Stark. I'm the licensing officer for Swansea Council.
Hi, Lindsay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rachel Lewis, my operational lead for licensing.
Mike White, councillor, ward member for this application site.
Beverly Hopkins, councillor for the Lando ward, and I'm here to represent some of the residents living on the site.
And I'm Cheryl Philpott, councillor for Sketty and one of the committee members.
Councillor Locke.
Yes, my name is Councillor Locke and I represent the ward of Sketty and I am on this committee. Thank you.
Morning.
So good morning. As the chair mentioned, there's a set process and procedure that the committee will follow regarding when and how people speak or respond. But firstly, please can you all ensure that your mobile phones are off? Okay, thank you. We will shortly hear from the licensing officers who will read out the report. Members of the committee will be allowed to ask relevant questions of the licensing officer and responsible authorities. In this committee, there are no responses from responsible authorities, so they will not ask the officers any questions. Ordinarily, again, we would hear representations from responsible authorities. There aren't any comment. So after the officers have been spoken to by the officers, then it will move to the representations. Now, I note that both councillors locally will be speaking. Ladies on the end, apologies. You are here to observe only, and you're not able to ask questions, okay? The members will be able to ask any questions of yourselves once you've made your comments, and if there's any points of clarity from myself, I'll make it. Point being, any comments made need to be relevant to the 4 licensing objectives and relevant to licensing in a sense of the phone, please. Will need to be in relation to the sale of alcohol, not simply the knock-on effect of a normal shop, okay? And then it will move on to the applicant, where they can outline their application. Again, the chair and the members can ask questions of the applicant. And, well, then after that, other persons may ask questions, okay? But again, it will return back to the applicant. I suppose, is it Mr. Lal who will be speaking on behalf of the applicant, or will both of you?
Both of us, actually. Yes.
Okay. Please ensure that you speak separately and don't have any crossover, because when it's remote, there can be interference. And then again, after that, the final word is yourselves, the applicants. You can summarise what you want to say regarding or in response to any of the comments you heard from the other persons. After that, the committee will go into closed private session. Everyone will leave. I'll remain with the members and they'll consider their views on the application, and then a response and outcome will be given in 5 days. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
So we go to the officer now who will take us through the papers briefly, because there's no point in reading all of it out. I'm sure you can summarise it. Thank you.
The only comment I'd make is the X on the map, if that point can be confirmed, or whether we confirm it with the applicant actually.
Thank you, Chair. I'll now go through the report of the Service Manager for the Statutory Licensing Subcommittee. It's for a new premises licence at Student Roost St David's, Newcut Road, Swansea. The applicant is 3S Retail Limited. And as I said, it's an application for a new premises licence. An application for the new premises licence was received by this authority on the 19th of December 2024. The applicant has applied for the premises licence to allow the following licensing activities to take place: the supply of alcohol off the premises Monday to Sunday, 9 AM till 2300 hours, with the opening hours Monday to Sunday, 0600 till 2300 hours. A copy of the application and the plan is attached at Appendix A and A1, which is on page 6 and 32. The property is situated on Newcut Road in a student residence and within a residential area. The premises is a convenience store and the application is for alcohol off sales. A location plan is attached to Appendix B and also includes similar premises in the area. Appendix B1 shows operating times of those premises, which could be found on page 33 and 34. Number 5, the promotion of the licensing objectives. The Licensing Act 2003 contains 4 licensing objectives, namely 1, the prevention of crime and disorder, 2, public safety, 3, the prevention of public nuisance, 4, protection of children from harm. Each of these objectives is of equal importance and the application must demonstrate how they are to be promoted. 5.2, conditions which are consistent with the operating schedule and will be attached to the licence if granted are attached to Appendix C, which is on page 35 and 36. There are no relevant representations that have been received from responsible authorities. We've had 3 representations opposing the application and 1 representation in support of the application. A copy of these representations are attached to Appendix D and D1, which are on page 37 to 41. The policy considerations. In considering this application, members should have regard to the current statement of licensing policy, which can be found on the following link within the report. Guidance issued by the Home Secretary. Members should also have regard to the relevant parts of the current statutory guidance issued by the Home Secretary in January 2024. In particular, 1, Introduction Chapter 1, 2, Licensing Objectives Chapter 2, 3, Licensing Activities Chapter 3, 4, Applications for Premises Licence Chapter 8, 5, Determining Applications Chapter 9, 6, Conditions Attached to the Premises Licence Chapter 10, 7, Statement of Licensing Policy Chapter 14. Determining the application. The decision must be based on the individual merits of the application and the representations received with a view to promoting the licensing objectives outlined in paragraph 5 of the report. In arriving at the decision, members should also have regard to relevant provisions of the policy and the guidance as previously provided. Reasons must be provided for any departure from the policy or guidance. In reaching the decision, the committee must, having regard to the representation, take such steps mentioned below, if any, as it considers appropriate for the promotion of the licensing objectives. A, grant the licence subject to 1, conditions that reflect the operating schedule, modified to such extent as the authority considers appropriate for promotion of the licensing objectives. 2, any mandatory conditions relevant to the licence. B, excludes any of the licensable activities to which the application relates. C, refuse to specify a person in the licence as the premises supervisor. D, reject the application. Thank you, Chair. That concludes the reading of the report.
Thank you. Does anyone on the committee have any questions for the officer, please?
Sorry, Chair, are we going to look at the location at this point or not?
So everyone, as the chair started with, everyone's received a copy of the pack. There is a plan in the pack, which there we are on page 33. You'll see that there is a cross on that map. That cross is when you put the address into the system, what is automatically brought up for the licensing process. Now, I think the shop is not directly where the cross is, and perhaps therefore when we come to the applicant, they'll confirm that the shop is on the frontal area of the building on Newcote Road. That's correct, isn't it, Mr. Lal?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
There we are. Other persons, you're aware that where the shop is going to be located, it's not off Pottery Street. There we are.
Possibly.
It'd just be yes or no, really, at this stage.
Oh, right, no, but I'm just
Yes.
I understand, but the actual entrance into the shop isn't on Newcote Road, it's on Pottery Street.
Okay, when the applicant does their part, we'll get them to confirm. Okay.
Did you have a question, Councillor? Yeah.
It was just about that.
Oh, it's just about that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So there don't seem to be any other questions. So we come to the two councillors now. If you'd like to explain why you're here today. Okay. You're both going to speak or just one? Sorry.
Well, I'll go through part of the report and my board colleague will
That's absolutely fine.
I'll proceed with further information, Chair. So
Thank you.
if you'd be kind enough to allow that. Yeah, as I say, being one of the ward members of this license and application site, so as I say, over the time we've been ward members, we've had issues within the Cleastowie development area, which takes in Newcote Road, Pottery Street, and Coles Close and Rothwell Road. Issues relating around to the problems of antisocial behaviour via the student accommodation area, with people who reside in there, and also we would have other issues as well due to the nearby. We've got a.
Sorry, Councillor White, if I can assist. Those persons online, could you please turn your microphone off? We're getting some feedback. Thank you.
And as I say, we had further issues as well with a close by bail hostel, which is directly across the road from the development, Newcote Road, Cleastowie development. And as I say, as ward councillors, we are being contacted by residents of this area due to unruly behaviour by students who obviously reside at the development. When going back to the development, obviously going into Pottery Street rather than going to where the student loose accommodation is. We've had further issues as well where under the students' tenancy agreement, there's no right to vehicles being within the site, and this hasn't happened because students who resided at the Roost accommodation have brought vehicles there and have obviously gone in the residents only parking bay, which is a private area because the estate wasn't adopted by the developer Bellway to the city council, so the residents living on the estate have had to enter into agreement with a private company to manage the issue of parking. and Councillor Hopkins and I have had issues where some students have been there and gone in residence bays and they've been asked to move and have faced a barrage of shouting and abuse towards the residents. Also, as I say, coming back to the problem with the hostel, the green area there, where under the application should be in the children's play area. This wasn't allowed to go ahead because of the concerns where individuals from the hostel actually were camping out there and were actually knocking residents' doors and asking them for money. So it was very, very intimidating to those residents. And as I say, our concern is to have an off licence near there is only going to create further problems. And as I say, the issue of public safety as well is that right opposite the premises, the off licence, we got an area which comes down from High Street Station under the tunnel and comes out there on Newcut Road, where we've had issues of assaults on people because of the individuals that are obviously congregate under there, drinking and obviously use drugs. And we feel that if an off licence was situated there, it's only going to attract further problems. So, you know, I'd say those are the issues regarding public safety and crime and disorder. Bev, I don't know if you want to elaborate any more.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to come along today. It is appreciated. I agree with everything that my ward colleague has said. The residents living there are having a lot of problem at the moment with antisocial behaviour and rough sleepers, where we often have people sleeping in tents along the riverbank. And our concern is that if this application was successful today, that it would attract more people along there and could possibly cause more of a problem than what the residents are facing now. As Mike has said, there's a bail hostel directly opposite, and the business with the tunnel where there are a lot of rough sleepers living there. We do have major concerns that the type of people that this could attract, it's going to be more of a problem if it is successful than it is now. The residents, there's many families living on this estate, and there's also a lot of older people who are already having to put up with noise, nuisance, rubbish from people that are walking past and throwing things out now. And if this was, as I say, if this was successful, our concern is that it's going to attract more people there and there could possibly be more antisocial behaviour. And I do feel that the residents deserve a little bit better than that. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions? Yeah, for the councillors? Yeah.
Thank you both for coming this morning. Just to cover the first one for me to clarify, if that's okay. If you can have a look at the map on page 33. I think I misunderstood where the bail hostel was. Can you, on the map, point out to me where it is? Okay.
Yeah, it would be across the road from the.
Okay, I can see Carlas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so that's why I thought it was perhaps not well. So to get from Carlas to down to Newcut Road, what would be the pedestrian way coming down? I knew it.
But I thought that there is there
High Street.
there. It's all connected.
Sorry?
It is all connected. There is a walkway. I've never walked it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't say exactly, but it's you know, there isn't.
Because I'm just because for my knowledge, Kailas would be much closer to High Street.
I would have said no.
It's down on Strand.
Yeah, so it's on, yeah. But you've got the bridge in the way, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, the tunnel, but then it goes up. But it's what I'm trying to think is the proximity to the Strand and High Street, because it's flatter to go the other way, would, yeah. I'm just trying to sort of like work out, because we got a lot of, we're thinking about, because of the location, we've got like lots of places. For example, you've got lots of other licensed places. So I'm trying in my mind to work out why would this, the proposed establishment or license, why would that make it any worse than what it is at the moment? That's what I'm trying to work out in my mind.
It is practice. And there's more of an incline to go from them to High Street.
Yeah.
Because when they would be going to High Street,
Yeah.
if they went through the tunnel or anything,
Yeah.
There is an incline then. So Kailas is on the flat.
Okay.
It's all on the flat. So there would be more of a
Okay.
track to go to High Street.
Yeah.
Then it would be to get to.
Yeah.
It's
So-
directly more or less across the
Yeah.
road as we've got.
So I'm just trying to work it, because obviously there's, you know, once you get to High Street, there's lots of other places. So in this area, so it's trying to determine in my mind, what would make this worse? How will it be worse with this, you know? So, couple of,
Do you want to answer? Councillor asked twice, how will this application make it worse? And there is a point I want to make
Yeah.
following on from that, but do you want?
I
I think what possibly could happen is going to attract a lot of other people there. I know there's so many students in that accommodation, and if they obviously they've got to walk somewhere else to go and buy the alcohol now, but if it's directly on where they live in, they're gonna use that facility, aren't they? And more, and as I say, they are causing quite a lot of problems now. And I know when the residents have gone to try to speak to the people in the roost, they're falling on deaf ears, or they can't talk to anybody about the antisocial behaviour or the noise level and what have you. So we were just concerned that if it was easier, if these students have got to go and walk somewhere else to buy the alcohol, there's going to be less chance of them going there than if they just got to go to pop downstairs. And there's quite a lot of students living in that accommodation.
so leading on from that, to be honest, I thought if you're in a bail hostel, you weren't allowed alcohol. So that I'm a bit sort of like confused
I think
about that as well.
But I don't suppose they would drink it in the bail hostel itself, but it's where else they would drink it. And this is where they're already experiencing a lot of problems by people taking alcohol, buying it somewhere else and taking it there and using it. And then, of course, they're leaving all the rubbish there. As I said, they've got rough sleepers very often living there.
So, well, going on then for the antisocial behaviour, we didn't have any police representation. So I'm just wondering how, you know, I would have thought that with, you know, you know, obviously we have to go on evidence, don't we? And with the police not actually putting in any representation at all, and they do sometimes, you know, we quite often find that they'll put quite lengthy representations into licensing. So I just wonder how many, you know, as ward councillors, if you're speaking to community police officers, do they tell you about how many reports have come in?
Well, we were disappointed that they didn't actually respond to the opportunity to do it. And I know that the PCSO that was around that area was very visible and what have you. And he had a lot of complaints from the residents regarding the problems. And the sad part is, like everything, they take them away from that area. And he's more often than not, he's now in the centre of town or over in the Mover instead of being around that area. The residents are not having the contact with the PCSOs and people like that they did have previous. But I know Martin Wilkins, he was one of the PCSOs that was around there, and he was very visible and very clued up with everything that was going on. And we had feedback, but we don't seem to get the feedback from them now, do we, Mike, that we did previously, which is sad. But that is going to be one of the things that we meet with them on a monthly basis, and that is one of the things we're going to bring up, is the fact that we want to have more people down there visible than there is now.
You understand that it's
Yeah.
all evidence-based, isn't it?
I
So
know,
with
I know,
evidence, it's,
we were
you know,
disappointed that they didn't
Yeah.
actually contribute, because they had the opportunity to do it like us. Yeah.
If I could, Chair, as well, and following from my colleagues' comments to us, they were quick enough to come in when we had the issue of the play area, because obviously they put it down. They couldn't, it was unwise to put a play area there because of the bail still, and because they didn't have the manpower that they could cover that area. So that's why we was very surprised that they never sort of intervened in regarding the application for this off license or where it is actually located. Thank you.
just wanted to say as well, there was no representation from the management company either.
And of course, you do understand that what they mean by single units won't be sold, so they won't be able to go in and buy a single can. That's a condition. So that in itself is, yes.
If I could, Chair, what Councillor Hopkins would like us to get verified is who is going to monitor that. We know it's a condition there. We see it there, but who is actually going to monitor that actually happens and the proprietor actually complies with that ruling that's put there.
Sorry, just to cut it short then, it's the shopkeeper. He's applying for a license, and if he was so lucky to have a license granted, the draft conditions have been put there, and it's a condition of his license to abide by not to sell a single-use can of over 6.5 ABV. So if he was found to be selling single cans over that, essentially strong alcohol, and you know that is the type of alcohol being bought by the vagrants, and which is leading to antisocial behaviour. So there's an obvious attempt to reduce some of the issues which are going to come across the road to the shop, because they're not going to be able to buy the standard choice. This is why I asked earlier about how you thought this was going to aggravate the situation, but because really this is a split. It's either the people from across the road or whether it's the residents of the building. And you've commented in relation to the residents of the building. So great. But yes, going back to it, it's the shopkeeper who has to police it.
Michael, do you have any questions for the councillors, please? I think you're on mute.
I should speak again. Could you just refresh my memory? What are the hours that this place is going to be open for? Or what hours is it closing? Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't have my mic on. The opening hours are 6 in the morning until 11 at night, but the alcohol sales are 9 in the morning until 11 at night.
Okay, thank you. Right, okay. And how, in terms of the Baylor Hostel, how far is the Baylor Hospital from this establishment in terms of walking time? Is it like a few minutes or is it longer, roughly?
Grassed area.
Councillor Locke, I don't think the licensing officer knows exactly the the
Okay.
walk-in time and distance threat. My understanding is that they'd have to come out of the building, effectively walk around the block, come on to Newcut Road and then down Newcut Road into this building. But depending which way they went, they would either go to the shop, or equally, it appears the distance is the same for them to go to Lidl. But while you mention about the opening hours, you heard the licensing officer say that the shop would be allowed to sell alcohol from 9 a.m. However, you'll note on page 34, Lidl is able to sell alcohol from 8 a.m.
Right, okay.
So, and Lidl, I believe, does not have the single use condition on their license, whereas the shop will.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I'll go back on mute.
I just say they come out the bail hostel and there's a road that cuts straight across and they're on Newcut Road. Yeah. So they could be they could be at that premises within 6 to 8 minutes easily. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor White. Your local knowledge is, there we are. Thank you.
Sorry, so we come to the applicant now. I don't know which one of you gentlemen would like to speak first. But it's over to you.
All right. I'll begin. Thank you so much, Councillor. All right. So I understand, a lot of concerns and claims raised. And to begin with, I would like to clarify a couple of things. First thing first, the entrance is not through the Pottery Street. The entrance is actually through the Newcut Road. The Pottery Street, we have the second entrance that's purely for loading and unloading, and it's not for the public. So basically, the entrance is only through Newcut Road, right? And I would also like to, tell you another thing. I actually I was informed about this bail hostel and about these information. So I myself tried to walk through from the bail hostel to the Lidl, and it took only 9 to 10 minutes, and it's a flat terrain. So I think it's a lot easier for people to walk through to the high street than to come to the premises. And regarding the parking, the company, the facility, the premises has allotted a couple of parking slots for us, and we're going to be utilizing that. And we are not going to use any other parking facilities. And we also, we almost tried and designated a particular time of our deliveries. So it's most likely it will be an off-peak delivery, and it will be a very quick thing. We will be employing at least a couple of people in the premises. So it will be a 20 to 30-minute delivery, and we'll make sure that it comes and goes off in an off-peak time. So we wouldn't be there for a long time, and we wouldn't be having any issues with the parking thing. And when it comes to the prevention of crime and disorder, see, the entire premises is will be it's already built with high definition and high quality cameras. We already put in 16 cameras, and out of which almost 4 to 6 cameras outside. It's a very well lit. It's going to be a very well lit place, and it's going to be a surveillance hub. And what I and what we personally feel is that it's going to be between the local residents and between the police. So until now, it would have been a very a slim and dim place, but it's going to be a very well lit, and it's going to be surveyed. It's going to be a place where there's a 24-hour surveillance. So it's going to be in between. How do I put that? So the entire premises will be surveillanced 24 hours. Yeah, right. And all staffs are, well trained about, the sale and supply of alcohol.
And we will be holding all the relevant documents, and
Yes.
authorities have full rights to check the CCTV anytime if anything goes wrong. And
Any incident for that matter, no matter how small or no matter how big, any incidents will be recorded, and it will be produced, as and when required.
and alcohol is not only our part of our, it's just a part
Yeah.
of our business. We're gonna sell a lot of other things, and we're gonna introduce bakery, coaster machines, and everything in there. So it is a part of a business. When the customer comes in, if we got everything needed for them, that will be much helpful.
Thank you for that. One thing that struck me was about delivery times, because clearly you're right in the middle here of a very busy but quiet area. I would like really to condition the times, to make it a condition that the times when the deliveries are done, so that they're not done sort of, I don't know, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. Would you be happy with that?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
fine, perfect. Yeah.
Right, because I think we need to safeguard the people living round and about, so that they get their privacy as well, and that you're able to deliver in a time that's convenient to you as well.
Yeah, perfect. That's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Does anybody else have any questions, please?
The only point to add to that, for your, obviously in your comments, you said that your deliveries would be and is it off peak, I think your word was. And obviously the chair has raised it. If you do want, in your closing, do want to put a specified time between, that would assist. But of course, the license conditions mean that your delivery times will need to be, or if we make that condition, they have to specify the delivery of alcohol so that it's conditionable, okay? Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah. Thank you. That was very comprehensive. Can I just two things I needed to check with you? Perhaps not so much on a licensable activity, but as you mentioned it, I just wanted to check for the sake of the residents as well. The first one was about the parking. I think you said that you had allocated parking. Where is that?
On the Pottery Street, they gave us one space.
Just one space on Pottery
Yeah.
Street.
Yeah.
And how many, you mentioned that there's a number of people working in the store, because you said that when it came to deliveries, you'd have a number of people who would be able to help with the deliveries. So how would they get to work?
We're gonna hire the local residents. Usually we hire the people locally. So most of the people from it got to be local. So not many people will be coming by car. All of our staff.
Yeah. Well, I think this is what the residents would, having heard you say that there's not that you've only got the one space. It would mean that that's only one vehicle that would be able to park there. So I think their concern is that you would be taking up spaces within Pottery Street.
No, we didn't.
No. Actually, we had a builders doing the shop fitting at the moment, and we have given that space for them for now. And the shop fitters, nearly like 7 or 8 people are working, and there's no park. The vehicles are parked outside. They are parking actually in the specific. They come in one vehicle, and they do the job, and they go in.
Okay.
And when they begin, I'm sorry. And when we began, the shop fitting things, we did not know about the parking restrictions, and perhaps that's why the concerns were raised. But now we have a clear indication of what the location is and how restricted the parking is. So we'll also, take appropriate measures, to evade all these things.
And the other thing, again, this would have been more of a planning issue, but we haven't had any representations of planning either. You mentioned that the area was going to be well lit. And
Yep.
again, if the area is going to be well lit, then I'm sure that residents, having heard you say that today, would have concerns over whether the light is going to, infiltrate into their properties. Because when you've read the report, one of the letters actually says that there are people who are living in flats and they're living on the ground floor and first
Alright.
floor. Their bedrooms are there, so they're in really close proximity to the shop. And I think that they'll probably be very concerned that they'll have light from the shop coming in. So how would you, and I think so it's important to have liaison with the residents on that basis.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when I meant well lit, I mean, it's the shopfront lights. Okay. So we already went through the planning consultants, and we have enough thing to light, put on 3 or 4 lights. And we also know about the, residents in the ground floor, and we'll make sure that, it doesn't, sorry.
Okay, so sorry, so you mentioned that it's going to be at the shop front, and we
Yeah.
seem to have, so can you clarify? Because Councillor White said that his understanding was that the entrance to the shop is actually on Pottery Street. My understanding is that it's on Newcut Road. Can you
Yes.
just clarify that for us again, please?
Yes, the entrance for the public, it will be on the Newcut Road. And there's a door, there's an entrance on the Pottery Street that is strictly for loading and unloading. And like we said earlier, it's going to be a very designated and very particular time for,
For the deliveries. And we have partitioned the shop as well only for the deliveries. So there's no entrance for the publics at all on the side road.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Locke, do you have any questions, please?
No, I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Do either of the objectors have any questions for the applicant, please?
Just a comment, really. As obviously said, relating to with the residents. I gather yourself and your colleague was at the premises yesterday, and I would gather that one of the cars was in the residence bay, and was asked kindly to remove, and was actually given sworn at with verbal abuse. So if you want to work with residents, I don't think that's the right way to start things off. And I think that I'm very, very concerned about that.
My genuine apologies. To begin with, I'm sorry. We did not work yesterday. The team did not work yesterday, and the
I'm
team
sorry. Sorry, we're here to deal with the license application. Okay. What is in the bundles and what has been provided, and the extension of that in any comments you wish to make is what the members to deliberate on, not where this was about to go. Okay, so can I reel it back in? Now we licensing officers. Did you say there was 3 other persons who were going to speak? Okay, there we are. We have therefore heard from the reps. Other persons, have you got any other questions in relation to the 4 objectives for the applicants? Oh,
Only one.
sorry, the chair has.
This particular unit now that the application's in for, was that always designated to be a shop or a retail unit then? So when people moved in there, they knew that there was the likelihood was that there was going to be some sort of premises there selling something.
Yes, we knew that from the beginning when the planning application was put in. They looked at a few different things put in there, but I think they've been using it more for storage up to now. So I don't think it's the fact that there was going to be a shop selling retail things. It was the types of things. That's what our concern was. Is the alcohol license, not the fact that it's going to be a shop, because that could be handy for the people that live in the students, you know, to have a shop there where they can get different things that they want. Yes, and others, and people living on Pottery Street as well, and the complex. I was just, it's the license bit that we are concerned about, not the fact that there is going to be it'll be a shop there. It was always designated as a shop, but that was part of the planning application.
Okay, that's lovely. Thank you for that. Thank you for telling me that. It's just up to the applicant now. If you'd like to just sum up in a few words, and then we'll go into recess to make a decision.
I've been in the convenience store business for more than 16 years, and I got a few shops already in Ronda Sanataf, and I've been working with the local authorities, and I don't have any issues so far. And with this premises, I make sure like I will get all the conditions done and all the due diligence is being done properly, and I make sure I work with the local authority and the local community as well. And if you can grant a license, that will be much helpful for my business. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. So we're now going to go into recess. You will have a decision within 5 working days. Yes.
Well, Chair, you know, when I mentioned earlier, what they didn't say, I asked them earlier to consider times for
Okay. Yeah.
for when their off-peak deliveries would be.
Yeah.
Are you happy that the committee decide that the times for your off-peak deliveries, or have you got anything in mind?
Yeah, I mean, before 8 p.m. or before 7 p.m. delivery will be, I mean, from 10 a.m. till 7 p.m. will be, I'll be so happy. Like, it won't be late evening deliveries.
Okay.
That's good.
There.
Okay, thank you for the clarifying that. Okay, so we're now going to go into recess, and you'll have the decision within 5 working days. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for
Thank you.
attending.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Yes. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.